The next thing that is also low-hanging fruit is better avatar. So you need to look at this and think, who are your best clients and how can I only work with them? So if you have 20 clients and 5 of them are paid you more and are easier to get results for and take less time, well, if all of your 20 clients were like that clients, then you would have leverage. Why? Because you would be focused on the right thing and you would get better results for fewer people at higher prices with less time. Guess what it is? It's leverage. You get more for what you put in. You spend the same time with better people or worse people. Better people get you better results. Worse people get you worse results, right? If you spend the same amount of time on getting 10 clients, if each of them paid you more, you make more money. That's why working with better people is one of the best ways to do that. So increase your price, you define who it is that you're getting the best results for by looking at your clients and asking yourself, who are actually my top 5 favorite people I work with? And you write those names down and you think, what makes them unique? Where are they from? What do they do differently? How do they look? At what point of their journey were they when they started? What kind of skills they have? And once you identify this, you'll be able to focus on this avatar. And if you focus on this avatar, already the leverage and compounding is embedded in this. The next thing is the model. Does the model actually work? You need to play it out in your mind. And does the math work? If no, then something has to change. If yes, then you need to stick to it, right? I'll give an example. So let's say the number one thing that you do that makes you the most money is sales calls. And if you do 10 sales calls, you make 3 sales, and each people pay you $10,000, so you make $30,000 per 10 calls. Okay, to do 10 times more of that, you need to take 100 calls. Can you do it? Okay, yes, great. But can you deliver on 100 clients? If the answer is no, if you literally get 100 clients, which won't happen overnight, that's why first you need to do that. There's always one constraint. You do that and then the next constraint will be unlocked. But if you do this and then you sell to 10 people or 20 people or 30 people at once, but you literally don't have even time to onboard these people or to help them, then you won't grow. Because the model itself, the math behind it doesn't work. So something has to be changed. So you either need to increase your price, you either need to hire people that are going to help you. You don't need to go from one to one to one to many. So your delivery needs to be actually working, right? There needs to be enough math behind it. And if it does work, then you just stick to it. You focus on it. And this is where the most people fail because they stop, right? And I'll give you an example of this. I had a previous coaching company where I was making about $50,000 a month. It was 3-4 years ago. I was in another niche. And the reason that I didn't grow is because nothing was stopping me. The math worked. I could do 10 times, 100 times more and make money. I knew what I need to do, but I was not doing it. Because I was thinking that there's something else. There's some other secret. There's a shiny object syndrome that I need to be focused on, right? And because of this, I was changing directions every single week. And when you change directions all the time, you land nowhere. Imagine if you're a plane and you know where you are going and you fly, and every 1 hour you change the direction you are going, you are going to end up nowhere. You are not going to end up where you want to be. So once you know that the path that you are on is the right path, and there's no perfect path, all the paths are not perfect, right? As we discussed in the lesson of the uninformed optimism, informed pessimism, you probably are aware of that. If not, go and check one of the previous videos about focus that we have in one of the first modules. You know that no path is perfect. So if it works, you need to stick to it. But if your model doesn't work, well, you need to change the model. So if I tell you, why can't you do 100 times more of what you are doing? You can say, Howard, I can't have 100 times more one-on-one clients. Great, then your model needs to change, right? Not always. You can charge more for your one-on-one clients and make more. Again, now you get more for what you do. So you still spend the same time helping people, but you get paid more. But if you can't do that, then you do more. Hope this makes sense. And to do more, maybe you need to go to one-to-one, one-to-many. You need to start the community. You need to do a more scalable delivery if that's your constraint. And if that works, and if you know your metrics, then you can do more. Okay? Now, what else stops people is money. So, let's say what you are doing to get more requires money, right? So let's say you are spending $100 on ads and you are making $1,000, but because you are spending all of your money, you can't put $10,000 in to get even more out, right? So then you need to become more profitable and spend less money. So you need a higher price, you need to cut your costs, you need to get better at sales, you need to get better at advertising, you need to upsell people, you need to collect payments up front, and you need to have a higher LTV. Not all of these things, but some of these things. So if you can cut your expenses, all of that immediately drops to the bottom line. If you increase your price, you make that much more profit for the same amount of the work, right? So now you can afford to spend more money to make more money. So let's say you have 10 DM setters and they are DMing people and booking your calls and you are making money. If you can't afford to hire more people, then you need to charge more, so you are more profitable and cut your expenses, so now you can afford hiring more people so you can grow. So your numbers actually make sense, okay? Or you get better at sales. So now instead of selling 1 out of 10 people, you improve your sales skills by studying, using AI to receive feedback, watching the sales training here, and you get better, and then you sell 2 times more people. Right? Or if you are selling on a live event or a webinar on an about page or checkout page, you improve your copy, you improve your targeting, messaging, you convert 2 times more people for the same amount of eyeballs. Now you are 2 times more profitable. Now you can afford to go and to grow more. This very rarely stops people. This usually stops people when they have unnecessary expenses. So their lifestyle cost is too long, so they need to decrease it a little bit so they can actually reinvest into the future of their business growth, or they're going to be stuck forever. So it's a tough call, but you have to make it to grow, and you need to be okay with that reality. Or you need to get better at these things. And that's what's going to help you to be able to afford to grow more. Then is delivery, right? You need to first think about first principles, ask your clients what they don't need, increase your prices, work with better clients, implement AI, etc. Right? So if delivery is stopping you, again, we talked about in the model itself, so like the business model, the math itself doesn't work, then nothing is going to work, right? So if the delivery works, the delivery doesn't work, then you go back to the first principle and you remove things. So let's say you are getting one-on-one clients and you are charging $5,000 and you are doing them with them weekly calls. Okay, why do we have to do weekly calls? What if we do bi-weekly calls? So if you do 1 call every 2 weeks, you can still have the same amount of sales. So if you do that, boom, you double the capacity of your clients. The amount of the times we have done this is crazy. It's because people's beliefs are stopping them and people don't get worse results, right? Or you can double the price and it will be $10,000. Now, if you double the price and you, instead of doing weekly calls with people, you do bi-weekly calls, now you can quadruple your income. This is how it works. Now, a lot of these trainings are available for free with all of the templates, AI tools, private feedback for you to be able to implement in your business. And guess what? It's absolutely free. So if you are interested, the link will be down below in the description and you can apply to join there.